To Sudan now, where the military has attacked positions of the paramilitary rapid support forces in the capital. Fighting between the RSF and the army has been spreading from the capital, Khartoum, to other parts of the country since it started in mid-April. The United Nations is warning the conflict could tip the region into a humanitarian catastrophe. It estimates the violence has forced at least 4 million people from their homes. Let's bring in our correspondent, Hiba Morgan. She's joining us live from Khartoum. Really striking pictures of this attack. Hiba, what was the target?
Well, we know that the Sudanese army's aircraft targeted positions of the paramilitary rapid support forces around the vicinity of the general command of the army headquarters. Now, just to give you an idea, the general command of the army is under the control of the army itself. But the areas around it are dominated by the rapid support forces since the start of the conflict in mid-April. And we understand from sources in the army that the target of those airstrikes were fuel and ammunition depots around the vicinity of the general command. But that was not the only airstrike launched today by the Sudanese army against positions of the paramilitary RSF. There were also drone strikes in the eastern part of the capital, and there were also airstrikes launched in the southern part of the capital, also around areas that are dominated and bases that are belonging to the paramilitary rapid support forces, as well as artillery strikes that were launched from the city of Omdurman towards the northern part of the country. So shellings, airstrikes continue, and there were also artillery shellings by the RSF, and most of them landed on civilian homes, according to reports from witnesses around the Armored Corps, another military base. So the fighting continues, the artillery shelling continues, and as is the airstrikes by the Sudanese army, with the hopes of dislodging the paramilitary rapid support forces from their positions in the capital, Khartoum.
All right, Hiba, we're also hearing that the situation for civilians in South Darfur is just getting worse.
Yes, fighting between the army and the paramilitary RSF since 11th of August, has led to a lot of civilian casualties. Now, hundreds have been reported killed. Many others have also been injured. And we understand from the aid organization Doctors Without Borders that the only hospital that was providing medical treatments to those who've been injured as a result of the artillery shelling landing on civilian homes has now been occupied by one of the warring sides. Now, Doctors Without Borders did not state which of the two warring sides has dominated or taken over the hospital, but it did say that the situation is getting quite catastrophic, that many people now have no access to health facilities, and that many people continue to get injured as a result of the artillery shellings by both the RSF and the Sudanese army. Many people have been trying to make their way out of there, but then again, it's in South Darfur. There are thousands of people who have been displaced by 20 years of conflict, even prior to this war starting. Many of them have nowhere to go to and have nowhere to leave the capital as the fighting continues and the artillery shelling continues.
Hiba, thank you very much for that. That is Hiba Morgan with the latest live in Khartoum.